All right, welcome back to the Time Rich family.
We are on our world cruise. It is day what?
Day 3.
Day 3.
Yes.
So we thought today we would talk about like what we liked and what we haven't liked so far, some opportunities for improvement, things that we wish we would have purchased and brought aboard, all that type of stuff. So overall, Marco, how do you think it's been going so far?
So far, I think it's been going good. I think that we did a pretty good job of kind of packing some of the essential items. Tiffany did a lot of watching other people's content from the World Cruise from last year, and just some other cruisers that gave really good tips on what some items they would have either did bring or wish they would have brought, and that really helped us a bunch. So I think so far we've done pretty good.
I was a part of a couple different Facebook groups that were specific to people who were going on this specific world cruise, so specific to the ship, things that we needed to do as far as visas or vaccinations with the itinerary. So that helped me a ton because there were these other people who did all the research, and then I just had to go, okay, so I think we should have the yellow fever vaccine, for example, for our daughters. Now where do we go get that, instead of like having to research every location and vaccines and all this stuff. So it was really helpful to have that group.
Yeah. And I mean, real cool plug. We went to a medical center called Passport Health, and they literally just took our itinerary and reviewed it. And when we showed up for our appointment, they had gone through and said, based on these countries and where you're going, here's what all you should get. And yellow fever is the only one that we ended up opting to get for the girls.
I hope that we don't have to use it, but we do have health insurance as well. So that has been activated officially now that we're on the cruise, and so we will have that for the duration of our cruise.
Yep. And if something does go wrong, on a ship like this, I'm sure on every cruise, but definitely on a long cruise like this, they do have a health clinic, and we're able to confirm that is available for us if we need it. All right, now, so as far as the ship goes, the amenities on this ship really were built for, I think, the long trip. This doesn't have, a lot of like big slides and all that stuff that like really help entertain people for like a 1 week trip. I mean, like water slides. But instead, on one of the decks, they have like the big playground area. For 4 months, we need to have a playground that you can just take your kids to and say, all right, go play. So there are some amenities like that.
Also, like just having the kids club, that was really important to us, like so that we, like, our kids are at kids club right now, right? So we could do this. We're on a sea day and just trying to take advantage of that time where someone else is watching the kids. And then I think having like that playground and those different amenities has been really, really helpful already for the girls. Like I think it helped them be like, okay, I could live here.
Yeah. And again, because we're gonna experience all 4 seasons essentially on this 4-month cruise, this ship, one of the cool things it does have is it has an open air swimming pool area, but then it also has one that's called the Grotto, and that's an all enclosed pool area where, on days like yesterday and today where it is a little cooler out still, because we're still in the Mediterranean in January, so our highs are in probably the mid 50s, so it's not super ideal to be out swimming in the open air pool. We have that enclosed option, and that water is a little warmer, and so again, just one of those cool little touches that you've got options.
So as far as like the food, it has been already fantastic. Our cruise comes with a drink package, so we've learned a little bit about that. Like there's certain bars and certain times where you can get the drinks. So like beer and wine and all that is in the dining areas, and so you can just get it there. You can't, if you get alcohol at any other bar on the ship, you just have to pay for it. And then we have learned how to get a latte. So there's one bar that you can go to in the dining room, and lattes, or like espresso drinks, are available to our package after noon. So from, would you say, noon to 9?
From 12 to 9, you can get like your fancy coffees, but like anything like espresso based, things like that. So the really good coffees. We can't get those for free until noon, but I did pay for a couple lattes this morning as part of the learning process.
Our accommodations, because we booked this in November of 2023, so a little over a year in advance, we have some of the last 2 rooms that were available on the ship at that time, and that were together right next to each other. And so that was important to us. We would have preferred adjoining rooms, but now we are in 2 side by side ocean view rooms, and it actually has worked out great so far.
Yeah.
3 days in,
Yeah.
I actually love the setup.
So far, we've kind of decided that we've made one room setup where all 5 of us can go in there and sleep at night. And then we made our other room more of like a lounge kind of hangout area. And so far, that's working really well.
This is, like we said, day 3, and it's our first sea day. So what that means was it was really our first opportunity to go kind of explore a little further of the ship. And this morning we dropped our daughters off at childcare.
Yeah.
And we tried to go to the gym, and it was packed. I immediately left, and then Mark, I feel like you hung in for like a solid 3 more minutes than me.
I literally was in there long enough to like get my headphones turned on, get the music connected to it, and then I just kind of poked around, and I was one of probably 10 people who were like just trying to find a hole, a little bit of space somewhere to maybe do a push-up, and I was like, no, this is not it. But it was a little bit after 10 o'clock in the morning. Breakfast had already pretty much been done with. And I think at that point, everybody had the same idea. And I was less than 5 minutes. And I was like, yeah, I can't do this. I got to get out of here.
So we didn't end up walking around the ship, but really on the days we are off the ship so far, like we've gotten between 15 and 20,000 steps ourselves. And so I can't imagine what our babies are getting. Like we have a 7-year-old, and she's been crushing it. Like they are doing great walking around with us. We walked almost 7 miles in Barcelona yesterday. They've been crushing it. And so it really feels like an accomplishment in life, right? That we've made it to this point where we're not like holding babies and pushing strollers and doing all the things. Like we're much more mobile these days, and that just feels so exciting for this trip. It feels like we're doing this at the right time.
Yeah, and of all things, again, that just based on their age, that they do have the stamina to just go. And I mean, and to be fair, we make our girls, I think we really do push the limits with them a lot as far as like making them hike a lot and all those things. And a lot of that I think has kind of trained them to do these days like this, where we're like, hey, we're in Barcelona. We're going to go off. We're going to be off the ship for about 5 or 6 hours, and we're going to go the entire time. And I think our 7-year-old asked me one time to pick her up, and I said no, and then she didn't ask again. So I think she just knows, like, I'm in it. So let's just do this thing.
We have already made some friends, and we're going to connect with others. I'm going to be really intentional about trying to find people who will talk to us about how they are time rich enough to also be on this cruise, right? So it is a big commitment to take 4 months away from whatever your normal life is to go do this. Now, it's not a hard sell. Look behind us, is amazing. I can see Spain. And so it's amazing, but really it's how do you find the time? How do you make the time in your life to make this happen? And so we are not the only family with young kids on this cruise ship, and so I'm excited to talk to them, but I'm really also excited to talk to the empty nesters, the single travelers, the mom and daughter combos, find out like what is their story and how are they here.
Yeah, and when we were waiting in the line to basically get on the ship a few days ago in Marseille, we ended up being right next to another American couple. They were empty nesters, and they asked us if this was our first cruise, and we said, well, it's our first world cruise, and we asked them if it was theirs, and they said, yeah, our first and maybe only. So we kind of dug in a little bit on that, and they really did point out a lot of the same things that we felt, and it's the fact that it still was quite a bit of work to really logistically get ready for this trip, because 4 months away from your home, you do have to get your house ready. You have to find it, like, in their case, they found a house sitter. They had a few pets that they needed to have somebody come take care of. What do you do with your mail? Things like that. And so they were talking about some of those same challenges that we had already, all those boxes that we had to check to come here. And so it was interesting to hear them say it might be their only one, because I think they may have felt a little overwhelmed of how much work they had to do to prepare for the trip. But I'd be really interested, now that we've been on here for a few days at least, to just see how they're feeling about that now. Like, okay, was it worth it to you? Like, do you feel like it? I guess check in now, then let's check in on month 3. Then let's see how they feel again, right?
It will be fun to like watch these later, like, and be like, oh my god, look how stupid and giddy we were on day 3, right? But we're still in shock that we're here. Like, this was such a big goal, and like you said, it was a lot of work to get to this point. So it feels like all of our hard work is paying off. I mean, this is just like such a dream. I can't even believe it's real right now.
Yeah. I mean, and we just got started.
I think that, like, what did we bring that you're really happy we brought? So I, like, for me, I think the different magnets that we have, like all the walls are metal, and so we have like our daughters, you know, make art every single day because they're 7, 8, and 10, and so it has allowed them to kind of make our cabins into a home because they're personalizing the space with their different artwork and their different like origami that they've made and all that stuff. It just feels like we're allowing them to help decorate and be a part of, you know, getting settled.
Yeah.
That just feels like that was a really nice way to transition. I actually would have brought more of those the clips that are attached to the wall. The hooks have been great too for like our lanyards, and so
yeah. I'm trying to think of anything specific. I mean, we just tried to set up our router and like a little travel router. We saw you know, a TikTok or a video of someone's talking about bringing one of these little travel routers that you can connect as a device and then connect other things to it. Still troubleshooting that. It's been giving me a little bit of a headache today. So I want to be able to say on a later video that was like the most clutch thing that we brought. As of right now, it just brought me stress today. So I'm gonna save that one for later. But I really do hope, because our girls, they have their iPads, and it was like $2,000 for us to get 4 devices to connect to the internet on the ship. So we've used 3 of those 4 so far, with the 2 phones and Tiffany's laptop. I have my laptop, and so we haven't connected that yet. We were thinking that router was going to somehow have to plug in as the 4th one. So we're kind of leaving that spot open as I'm troubleshooting to see if maybe that's how it's going to go, but we're not sure yet how that's going to work. But we've started talking a little bit about whether or not we're willing to maybe pay to add at least maybe 2 more devices, and then take that 4th one and then the 2 additional ones, put the 3 iPads on there, and just let the girls have access to it. Because I mean, for 4 months, you know, it's just a lot that they may need to be able to do on there, especially for just like games, educational things, using an app called Voxer, where they can basically do recorded voice messages back and forth with family members and whatnot. And they were really getting into that before we left, and now it's been kind of left behind because they haven't been able to connect.
Mm-hmm. So I think the lanyards have been a really big help for us, just because your card is so we tell our girls, like, don't forget your arm.
This is their arm. So, or, you know, because your cruise card has all your information on there, what your dining room, dining time, table, all that stuff. Just tells everything about you on here. And it's how you scan in and off the ship. It's how you purchase drinks or scan to show that you have a drink pass, all of the things. And we bought these lanyards, and it had a couple different ways that you could configure it to work, but we've just found that having it hooked right to the key ring so that you can just pop it off with the clip, so that way this can stay on your neck, and then if somebody needs your card for anything, especially if they need to take it, or when you go into our rooms, it's like most hotel rooms, or I don't know if most anymore, but like a lot of the ones where you have to actually have this card down in the little device on the wall to actually turn on the power to the room. You can just pop it off and stick it in there, and then you don't have to even take this off, especially if you're only going to be in the room for 10, 20 minutes. I know that sounds kind of dumb, but we said this is your arm, so we just want to leave this on our neck and then be able to take this on and off as needed.
So things that are on the list that we should have brought: added masking tape to the list.
Yeah.
You talked about maybe a label maker.
Yeah.
If we would have brought something, but we really just need to figure out there's a lot of drawers and stuff. I don't know what's where right now, and so if we had the masking tape just to identify whose drawer is whose, that would be awesome.
Yeah, because I mean, again, in each room we've got upwards of 15 different drawers, and so it would be nice to be able to say what's in each one. Because so far, every time I go into the room that we're calling the girls' room, it's basically the sleeping room. I have to open up every single drawer to find something, and it's just I know that we're on day 3, and I'll be able to do it with my eyes closed by probably 1 month in. But it would have been really nice to just have everything labeled and just quickly be able to navigate. And so when we packed for this, we had 3 like your just normal big size, big checked bag, whatever, the normal size of checked luggage. And we had them all packed. I think they all literally came in right around 65 pounds because we had them packed to the max. Very heavy. But I do think, and I wish that we could have brought more like physical books for the girls. They're all really heavy readers. They always read. I mean, they read them for almost an hour or longer every single night.
Mm-hmm.
But we just definitely couldn't have put that extra weight and stuff into the bags. And so our mission so far has been find English kids books. And we've looked through a bunch of bookstores in Marseille and Barcelona, and so far I think we've found 2 books that we've been able to purchase, and that's going to be a continued mission for us along the way, because I believe our girls are already missing holding books and reading them.
I'm going to put a link in the description for our travel packing list, what we used to pack for this world cruise. Of course, that's going to be an ongoing working document, and I think that we'll add and subtract things from that over the next 4 months, stuff that we brought that we didn't need or things that we should have purchased. And so you can download that in the link in the description. And I think that's all for today. So
I'm sure we're gonna, and as we do more of these, there's gonna be so many more things that we'll think about or that'll come up, and so lots more to come.
So much more to come. But until then, we're just gonna go enjoy Spain and the sea.
All right. Well, thanks for watching.